What's up guys, welcome back to another video. And in this video is once again going to be a UI challenge. In this video let's try to recreate a UI screen, a simple UI screen. This is a little bit more complicated than what we have seen so far, but it's pretty much simple. Okay, now that you know a lot about how to handle widgets and how to design nice layouts, this will be a bit easier for you if you had already seen my videos. Anyway, these screens were created by a designer called Michael Rosic. It's Michael Rosic, I think. Michael Rosic. Anyway, thanks to him. And there are two screens available on this single image, right? There are two screens available on the single image. This looks like a messenger kind of chat kind of screen, whereas this looks like a screen wherein you would hire a set of coaches, right? Here there is my coaches, view past sessions, and a list of coaches that are available for hire. And you also have something like a small box that shows you credits or something like that, and you can obviously buy something. It's a button here, and you have a title here and some components on the app bar as well. So this is the screen that we will be trying to recreate in this particular video, guys. So as usual, let's apply the 1369 rule first on the screen. For those who are watching this video, watching one of my UI videos for the first time, the 1369 rule is a rule that I generally use to engineer user interfaces from design screens. Whenever a design screen is given to you from the UI team in your company or any company for that matter will have a artist and a UI designer. The artist is the one that designs the feel of the application along with the mix of colors and everything, and the UI designer will exactly try to recreate whatever the artist has given, whatever the input he receives from the artist, and then he'll try to sketch out that screen in Photoshop or some other designing tool, and he'll send you the screen images which you will be then engineering, which you will be then trying to program and create in your on your mobile device. That's usually the flow. Okay, the flow in which UI screens are designed for the mobile application. So the 1369 rule is nothing but a simple rule that I learned from someone long back, which I use to dissect my screens and then try to glue them back together to bring a complete screen. Applying that rule here, this will be 1, this entire screen will be 1, right? And then this will be 1, 2, and this all these 4 cards will be 3, right? 1, 2, 3 parts. And after that, if I want to break this down into 6, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, and this is 6, right? You get it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So if I want to break this down into 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and 7, 8 and 9, right? Inside this cards also we can break this design, simple design, right? So now that we have broken down this into 9 different segments, all we just need to do is design them out, write code for them piece by piece, and then try to glue them back together as a single screen. So we'll start from the head. We'll start from the 1, that is this part. This part contains an app bar which has 2 buttons, one on the left side, one on the right side, and a small logo at the middle, and a title that says Get Coaching. First of all, the UI used in this particular screen is called Volty Rounded or something like that. Not UI, the font used in this particular screen is called Volty Rounded. Okay. That font is obviously a bit costly. It's like around $58 or something. So what I'll do is I'll use my famous Montserrat font here as well, which is a free font obviously, to create all the text inside this particular screen. Okay, so let's get started, guys. That's too much of talk already. Let's start with the app bar. You can either use an app bar or we can simply remove I'll use an app bar. Okay, I'll get into we have an app bar here. Let's just build up on this. So title, new Flutter logo, colors dot green, and size will be some 25. I'll give it 25 and see if that fits. and then after that elevation will be 0.0. Obviously there is no shadow here, right? No shadow should be there. Elevation 0.0, and center title, if I give this as true, then the logo will be in the center. And leading, I'll need to give background color as well. By default the screen of Flutter will be this color. Okay, this color, you can see this, right? This is pure white and this is somewhat white, kind of a dirty white or something like that. So this is the default color that's provided to us whenever we scaffold out a blank application using Flutter. So I just need to change this to white as well, right? So I'll give background color colors dot white. Fine. And I'll do leading icon button, sorry, icon button on pressed, icons dot arrow back or something. Yeah, arrow back. I'll close this and then I'll give color colors dot gray. Fine. One is done, and the next one is I need another button on this side as well, right? This looks like a more options button, but there are only 2 lines. I'll use a more options button itself. Again, slightly change it, right? So after this icon button, I'll add actions. Once again another icon button, but this time it will be on pressed, sorry, and icon will be icon start menu, oh, this is icon, colors dot gray here as well. Fine, I'll save this. Now I have the app bar ready. Let's run this and see what happens. Alright, now you can see that our app bar is nice, right? And you can see, I don't know if you can see that in this video, but there is a small difference in the color as well. This is white and this is some kind of like a dirty white or something like that. And we have a logo in the middle, more options, and a back button. The next thing we'll do is we'll bring in this title as well. This title is somewhat below this and somewhat above this, right? We'll bring in, it's bold, right? Yeah, it's bold. So I can't get that exact font. That exact font looks really nice, but I'll try to use just what I have and then make it look cool. In the body I'll use a column, or maybe I'll use a list view. I'll stop this first. Why am I using a list view here? Since there are a set of cards here, right? So if I use a list view, then I need to worry, I don't need to worry about these cards overflowing this screen space, right? A list view contains a scroll by default. You can scroll through a list by default, right? But with the column, that's not the case. The column should fit within the entire viewport, so it won't allow you to overflow. It won't allow the widgets to overflow the screen real estate. So that's the reason why I'm using a list view. List view can have a set of children, right? What were we were doing the get coaching thing. So shrink wrap true, and children stack, I'll use a stack as usual. Children, by now viewers of this channel would be familiar with stack, I guess. Children I'll use a container. Height will be some 100.0, and color will be obviously colors dot white, so that it matches with the app bar, so that the app bar and the container looks in the looks same. The background color should look same, right? After the colors white, I will give child text. What was that? Get coaching, right? Coaching. And I'll give style, text style, text style would be font family Montserrat as usual. Font size will be some 20. Okay, yeah, this is done. For those who don't know, I already have an assets directory and it contains all my fonts, and not only that, I have gone ahead and added those fonts in this. I also have a quicksand font that I'll be using later on for the bold stuff. So yeah, I have these two fonts and I have included them in the pubspec.yaml as well. So kindly do that before. You don't need to search for these fonts, just go to my GitHub repo. I will post this entire code on GitHub, so just go there, give a star to that repo, kindly give a star to that repo, and then you can simply download this font files from the repository itself. Anyway, let's continue with what we were doing. I'll save this and run this app again. Alright, our thing is just fine, except the fact that it has moved a little bit to the left side, right? It's aligned to the left. Probably we should have I'll show you another way to align stuff, guys. Many people just stick with the main axis alignment and the cross axis alignment, right? There is another way to align stuff. Just do a alignment 0.0 is x-axis center, right? So if this is, wait, I'll show you. If this is the x-axis, this is 0.0, right? So y-axis, I'll just give it as I don't know, minus 0.40 or something. Fine. You can see the difference now, right? This has now moved to the center. This is 0.0 and minus 0.40 will be somewhat above the center, right? You get where I'm going with this, right? This is how do I say this? Fine, it has now moved to exactly where we want it to be, right? 0.0 is exactly at the center and minus 4.0 is somewhat close to the center. Why did I use somewhat close to the center? Because in the screen, if you notice, this cuts the box component cuts the container as well. This component is placed on the container, overlaid on the container. That's the whole point why I used a stack in the first place, right? So now we have done the first part. The one of our 1369 is done. The second thing we need to do is this one. 2 contains 2, 4 and 5, right? As per our breakdown, this contains 2, 4 and 5. Now I can't figure out how to create these hearts, guys. I mean, I tried for a long time, but then I gave up. So I'm really sorry about that. But excluding this hearts, we'll just do this text and this button. Okay. So what I'll do is I need to cut through this, right? First I'll stop this. All right. So the next widget should be a container. Inside the stack, it should be a container as well. And inside this container, we'll have a margin edge insets dot. I'll do a specific margin from left, top, right, and bottom. 25.0 and top will be 90.0 since I need to bring that a bit down. Right will be again 25.0 the padding. Bottom I don't need any padding, so I'll just give 0. And obviously I need a decoration since that box needs to be white as well. If you notice, see, it is white as well. It's even a bit whiter than this white, I would say, but we'll just use the same white. We can't, yeah, we'll use the same white for now. Box decoration colors dot white, fine. And border radius dot circular 20.0. Why did I do this? Since the border is rounded for this box, right? So I'll just use a simple border radius. Then I'll use a box shadow. This is not needed, I think. Is there a box shadow? Yeah, there is one, right? It's not that much prominent, but it is there. So box shadow, I'll just give box shadow and blur radius, I'll give a small value, and color, I'll just give colors dot gray. Fine. Now there will be a box shadow as well. inside that I need to specify two different stuff, right? One is after the box decoration, inside that I need to specify two different stuff. One is a text you have and a number, and then the another one is a button that has, it's more of like a colored container, right? Somewhat green. It's green with opacity, and the text on it is green as well. So we'll try to do this. So what I can do in the simple way is to use a child row. Inside the row I'll simply specify cross-axis alignment dot center, so that these two will be the cross-axis of those two widgets centers would be aligned. And the next thing we'll do is children. Row will obviously have a couple of children. Once again I'll use a stack children widget. Why am I using a stack here? Since you have and 206 have very little space between them, right? If I use two separate containers, then those containers will come along with padding, which means that it will lead to more complications. That's exactly what I'm trying to say here. I talked about this already in my previous UI design video as well. So yeah, children container, I'll use a container. What's happening with my IntelliSense? Sometimes it's not working at all. Padding edge insets dot from left, top, right and bottom. Again it's 25.0. top, it's simply, again I'll give 25.0. this is different, right? This is the spacing between these two, whereas the previous one was the spacing between these two, the app bar and the top of this container, this spacing. Whereas this spacing is between the container, it is inside the container. This row is entirely inside this container, so this specifies the spacing between these two. Right will be I don't know, 5.0 or something. We'll give 5.0. Bottom again will be 5.0. Bottom, is that too much padding? No, right? No. And then now I have a nice looking container. I'll specify a child inside that. Text. Is it full caps? It's full caps. You have style, text, style. See, my IntelliSense is too slow. My laptop itself looks like too slow. It's too slow. Colors dot gray, and font family, quick sand, and font weight dot bold, font size 14.0. okay, some random font size I'll give. If it's too small, I'll just change it later on. And then I just need an exactly similar container, but the only difference would be it's for a number. So I'll simply do copy this container, and the inside this stack itself I'll specify this. Only difference is padding, I'll change it. Padding, this will be 40 or something, since I need to place this number below this text, right? So if the text starts at 25 from the top, then if I give 40, then it will be below that particular text, right? And all these will be the same. The only difference is this will be bigger and this will be in black. So I need to give that here. What's happening? Black, and here it should be, font size should be somewhat around 40 or something like that, so that it's really big. And yeah, that's it. I'll save this and run this and see what happens. All right. Oh, okay, I didn't I didn't change the text, right? I'll just give it as 206. Fine, right? We now have this nice looking you have and 206 here, just like we had on this particular screen. Maybe we should increase the bottom padding a bit, right? This is the last element, so I'll just go ahead and increase the bottom padding. if I give the bottom padding here, you understand why I'm doing this here, right, rather than doing it here. If I give it here, it will increase the space between these two, right? It will increase the space between you have and this number, whereas if I give it here, it will increase the space between these number and the edge of this container. So that's the reason why I am increasing here. So if I save this, it will automatically hot reload and sync the files, which is taking too much time, obviously. Now you can see the difference, right? It has a lot of space. Anyway, if you are using a different font, kindly adjust the font size in such a way that it lines up with E and Y, since that's exactly what they have done here. And as I said before, I don't know how to create and make use of this hearts, guys. I already tried it a couple of times, but I couldn't get it right. So if you could get it right, and obviously cheers to you. Let's just try and build this fifth component that as per our design, the buy more button. So in order to do that, that will simply be the next child of the row, right? Yeah, after the stack was the first child of the row, and after the stack I need to simply give a sized box, maybe, since there was a lot of, there was ample space between this component and this component, right? So I'll just give a sized box. Height, why is it height? It's width, I don't know, 100, maybe 100. And after the size box, I just need to give a container. In the container, I'll specify a specific height for that, since this is what's going to be our button. Height, width 125.0, and decoration will be box decoration. Color will be colors dot green accent. I'll just specify a very light accent, 100, and then I'll just give a border radius of dot circular, a small specific border radius, since the border radius was not that much rounded, right? It's still a rectangular button, but the edges are somewhat rounded. That's it. Then we need to simply specify a child. The box decoration ends here. Child center, child text. What was that? Buy more, right? Buy, or is it full caps? No. Buy more. Green, and yeah, that's it, right? We just have a container with the decoration that gives the color for that, and also rounds of the edges, and then a screen, a text in the middle of it. I'll save this and run this now. All right, button looks really good, right? The thing is, it is too green. I think the button here wasn't that much green, it was simple shade, right? Whereas our button looks lot more green than it should. So what I'll do is, after this green accent, I'll add with opacity, I think, with opacity, and I'll give a specific value, maybe 0.5. Okay, so now I can control the opacity of this as well. Yeah, now this screen is somewhat similar to the one available here, right? The one available here. All right, now this part is done as well. We have done this part as well. It doesn't look that good on an emulator, but if you try it out on your mobile device, it would look really cool, guys. So yeah, At the end of this entire video, we'll see how it looks on our mobile device as well. Anyway, let's move on with the video. Alright, now we'll do these my coaches and view pass sessions, and then we'll simply proceed on with creating those cards as well. So after this, first I'll stop this, and then this is the stack, right? The original stack that we made. Now that we have those two, we made this stack, if you remember, we made this stack since we wanted to overlay this entire box on top of this particular this container should be on this particular container. So that's the purpose why we used a stack to create this entire interface. Now that our purpose is done, we can simply come out of that stack and then simply add all these elements to the other elements to the list view directly, right? So what I'll do is I'll get out of this stack and then give a comma here. This is the list view children. I'll add a sized box height 40. Okay, and then container, I'll give it a padding edge insets dot only left 25.0, right 25.0. Cool. Now that I have given a couple of padding here as well, I'll do a child row, and inside this I'll add main axis alignment dot space between. Space between is something like it will spread out the space between the children of that particular row. If there are two children, then the entire row will be having one child at this end, one child at this end, and the space will be in between those two children. Cool, right? It's something like that. Space evenly is placing the children in such a way that the space around them is even. If there are three children and if those are placed in a row, then the three children will be placed in such a way that they occupy the entire row, but the space in between those three children will be equal. Space between is wait, you will see it. You'll understand it better when you actually see it. Main axis, see my space between, and children text. What was that? My coaches, right? My coaches, I think it was full caps. My coaches, and style, text style, I think. Text style. Colors dot gray, and font family quicksand, font weight dot bold, and font size 12.2. okay, that was somewhat smaller, right? Smaller than the rest of the text in the screen. So I'll just, this shouldn't be there. Okay, I'll simply copy this entire thing, paste it once again. Here it will be view, what was that? View past sessions. Only difference is it will be green here. Fine. If I run this now, cool, right? Now we have two text, my coaches and view pass sessions, just like we had in here as well. I think it's a button base. Anyway, let's proceed with creating the cards. So this looks like a grid, right? It's a grid view, and the grid has two cards in every row. So why don't I simply go ahead and make, is there a space, sorry, there is some little space between my coaches and the cards, right? So after this row, after this container altogether, I'll give a small sized box height, I don't know, 10.0 something. Okay, there was very little space, right? So 10.0. Then I'll include a grid view dot count. Now I'll give cross axis count will be 2. Okay, so there will be two grids, I mean 2 cards every 2 widgets every row, right? This is a row, by the way, this is a column. So if I give cross axis count as 2, then there will be 2 widgets every row, and then if there are more widgets, they will be added to the next row, and so on and so on. Then I'll just give cross axis spacing. Cross axis spacing, once again I'll give 2.0. Cross axis spacing is this spacing, this particular spacing, right? This particular spacing. And main axis spacing as well. Main axis spacing will be 4.0. Main axis spacing is this particular spacing. Okay. And now that spacing is done, I'll do shrink wrap, once again true, and I'll do children. Children should be a set of cards, right? So rather than creating hard coding all those, why don't we just create a widget that returns a card, and then simply call it 4 or 5 times from this particular widget. So what I'll do is, after this I'll create a widget build card, and this will be string name. Okay, I'll take in 3 arguments. These are nothing but stuff that I'll be displaying here: this name, this status, and the card index. Wait, I'll show you. And these are 3 arguments that I'm going to be using, and inside this I'll write the actual card. Return card, return card, shape rounded rectangle border, and inside this border radius will be border radius dot circular 10.0. okay, so that each and every card has a somewhat rounded border. As you can see, it's very little, right? That's a little curve. So after that, elevation should be there. Elevation, I'll just give it as 7.0 so that it looks a bit more pronounced. And I'll have, in the emulator you won't notice that much elevation. I told you, right, emulator doesn't do any justice to any UA at all. You should actually look it on a mobile. Anyway, your end user is never going to run your application inside an emulator, right? He is obviously going to download it from Play Store or App Store, and then simply run it on his mobile device and use it from there. So always test your applications, whether during the development process or during the production. Test your builds in the mobile device, right? Let's continue here. So child column will be children widget. Inside this sized box height 12.0, and below this I'll have a stack children container height 60.0, width 60.0, and decoration box decoration, border radius I'll give exactly half, so that the container, this container looks like a circle. Okay, circular 30.2, and color will be some color stock green or something. This color doesn't matter since we'll be showing an image here. Color stock green, and image will be the actual image that we receive. Actually, we should receive the image here as well in the argument, but since this is a simple demo, I'll just hard code the image URL here. Later on, when we integrate this with Firebase, we'll see whatever UI screen I'm creating now, creating as part of my Flutter UI series, I'll be integrating those with Firebase as well, to show you how actual data can be pulled and then populated in those screens as well. So for now, we'll hard code this URL. When we are using Firebase storage, we'll just get the image URL from there and then try to display it here. So network image, sorry, not image, decoration image, right? So this should be decoration image, image network image, and I'll give a URL. I'll simply make use of our famous Tom Cruise URL that we have been using for all the UI challenges so far. Okay, now that this container is over. This is nothing but the image, this image. Okay, now we'll do another container for this particular text. Sorry. Okay, I'll use a sized box here. So that there is a small space between the image and the text here. Sized box will be text. Text will be the actual status that we get, and style will be as usual text style. I'll specify a specific style, font family, quicksand, font weight dot bold 12.0, and colors dot gray. Fine. Then we need a sized box once again, so that I can do the next. Why did I go with status? I should have probably used this for displaying the name, right? And then simply do a status. Fine. So now we have handled this name and this status as well, and below that we'll do this button. Okay, this button I think we can simply use an expanded and then use a container inside that, right, like we did for the image. So for the button I'll simply, this is the text. Sized box once again, sized box, height 15.0, and then expanded child will be a container, and this will take a width of 175 so that it occupies the entire card. And decoration, box decoration, I think, yeah, box decoration. Color will be different, right, because for available it should be green, and away it should be gray. So I'll just check if the color is status is away or available first. So I can simply do a status equals away. If it's away, then it should be colors dot gray. If it isn't, then it should be colors dot green. Fine. Then I'll do a border radius. Border radius would be border radius dot only bottom left. This will be radius dot circular. The rounding thing, how much I gave there originally, how much did I give for the card? 10, right? Rounded rectangular border I gave 10. So here as well I'll just give 10. 10.0. Okay. Then I need to not only bottom left, I need to give for bottom right as well. Bottom right radius dot circular, again 10.0. Fine. You understand why I am doing this, right? Because wait, I'll show you. Here this entire expanded will be overlaid on this particular card, since we are using a stack, right? So this will be a rectangular shape, and we won't get this nice rounded edges. So in order to get those, what we are here, we don't need this nice rounded edges because these are sharp here inside the card. So I am just specifying the border radius to be circular only in the bottom left and bottom right, which is nothing but this one and this one, right? Now that we have done that as well, what's the error? now that we have done that, we need to give a text, right? Request is the text. So after the decoration is done, yeah, this is where the decoration, I'll have a child center, this will have a child text request, and now the only thing I need to specify is the margin. So we need a margin, right? This is not exactly close with the thing. If we include the card inside a, wait, I'll show you the margin, that will be much more simpler way. After the column, I'll specify a margin for the thing, for the grid entirely. So card index dot is even. If it's even, then it means it's the right-handed card, this side card, right? This is 1 2 3 4. So if it's even, then it means this second widget in the grid in every row is even. Then edge insets dot from left top right bottom, 10.0 top will be this right will be 25.2 and bottom will be again 10.2. fine. If it's not, then I'll simply copy this, paste it here. Only this time it will be this will be 25.2, sorry, this will be 25.2, and here I can simply reduce this right side margin. I'll just reduce it to 5. Okay, you understand why I did this, right? Here this margin I need to give 25, this margin I need to give 25, whereas this margin will be taken care of by the cross spacing size that I gave, right? I mean, this space will be taken care of the cross spacing size that I gave. So for every second widget in the grid, I am using this particular margin, so that the right side border is too much and the left side border isn't that much. Where for every odd widget, that is the left-handed side widget in the grid, I am giving the left side margin as 25, which means that this space will be equal to this particular space. That's it, right? And we have specified this button as well. Everything is fine. Let's just run this and see what. Before running this, we need to call this card here, right? We did never called even a single card, build card function. Where inside the children, we'll simply do build card, name will be Tom, status will be available, card index will be 1. If you are using a map or something, it will come with an index, and then you can simply specify that index. Or even without an index, you can simply wait, I'll show you. There is another way to do that. I didn't want to I didn't want to make it too complex. Just let it be Tom. The only thing is, so we have 6 cards now. Let's run this and see what happens. All right, it looks really good, right? The button looks a bit elongated, but other than that, the card looks really good. And we have, we can't scroll. Why is this not scrollable? List view should be scrollable, right? Okay, we used a grid inside a list. Grid by default comes with scroll as well. So if we use it like this, then obviously there will be a disambiguation between the scroll here and scroll in the default scroll present in the list as well. So what I can do is simply set this primary as false. Now this won't be the primary, which means that it will allow the default list view scroll. I'll save this, it should hot reload and we should be fine. Now if we try scrolling, yeah, you can see that we are able to scroll and all our 6 cards are perfectly functioning, and we also have that color scheme and the status and all that perfectly working as well, right? Wait, is there something missing? I think there is some. Let me just open up the UI again. Yeah, this dot is missing, right? We didn't create this away and available dot. We'll just try to do that now. That should be simple. It was just a circle, right? What was that? Wait, let me see it once again. It's just a circle and there is a cut here, cut in the original circle, and the circle is Okay, if we use a stack, we can simply place that circle on the top and then provide a radius to that so that it looks like a cut. I think this is white color, so if I specify the radius to be, border to be white as well. Wait, I'll show you. That would be a simple way to bring in this design. This is the stuff where my, okay, after this container, I'll simply do another container. Since this is a stack, the dot will be overlaid on this container, right? So all I need to do is place it at the exact spot, so somewhat to the right of the circle so that it looks prominent. I'll do that with the help of a margin edge insets dot only left. I'll give some 35.0. okay, and height I'll simply specify it as 20.0, and width I'll again specify it as 20.0. sorry, it will exactly be similar to that specific circle, right? Box decoration, border radius dot circular 30.0, and color should be according to the status. If the status is away, it should be amber, and if it's available, it should be green, right? Let's wait, I'll check it. Yeah, it's if it's away, it should be somewhat amber, and if it's away available, it should be green. So status, once again I'll check, status equals away. If this is true, then colors dot amber. If it is false, then colors dot green. Okay, that is the dot color. Then we need a border color as well. So to specify a border for that particular container, which will be in the shape of a dot, simply do a border dot all, and inside this specify colors dot white, style border style dot solid, and width specify width 2.0, because the cut looks deep, right? Wait, I'll see that. Yeah, the cut looks a bit deep than this, so I'll just give it 2.0. Yeah, that should do it. That should do the trick. Let's just hope that we aligned it properly. We'll even increase it 40 or something. Okay, now let's run it on a mobile device and see what happens. Alright, it looks really cool, right? We have this nice looking dot on top of the, we aligned it exactly in the first try. That's really something. We can also scroll it to see other cards as well, and whichever card is available, it shows a green dot, whereas whichever card is away, it shows an amber dot, just like we have in our, where is it? Just like we have it on here as well. Cool, right? That's it, guys. We just tried and created this entire, wait, I'll show it to you guys on a mobile device. That will be really good. I'll close the emulator once and for all and then show it to you guys on a mobile device. Alright, now you can see the screen on a mobile device, right? And it looks way more cooler than the emulator. You can also scroll through this and then look at the list of cards as well. For all the available cards, it shows a nice looking green color dot here, and the request button is enabled as well. And the green color dot. For the buttons, we obviously need to use an inkwell or a gesture detector. I didn't show that here since I just simply used a container, but while you are doing it, just wrap the entire button within a gesture detector so that you can listen for the on tap event as well. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to mention. But anyway, the screen, the screen is what we wanted to create just now, and I think we did a good job on that, right? We also created that cut around the green color dot on the avatar using a white border for that particular dot, and the cards look excellent, and the component above the cards, except the hearts, we almost did everything, I guess. And the font, obviously I can't get that font since it was too costly. I wish I had that font, but yeah, then again, you can't get everything you wish for, right? Anyway, so yeah, guys, this is exactly what we wanted to accomplish in this video, and I think we accomplished our goal. If you really found this video helpful, kindly share it with someone and help them too. If you like this video, kindly hit the thumbs up button so that YouTube algorithm picks up this video and then promotes it to other people, so that a lot of people might view this video as well. And if you really like what I'm doing on this channel, I do almost daily uploads, weekly 4 or 5 videos per week, and one of those videos would be a UI challenge or an animation related video, and the rest of those videos will be videos related to Flutter application development, that is core application development, getting data using streams, integrating with Firebase and all that app development, business logic stuff. One video will be on UI and either UI or animations per week. So if you really like this type of content, and if you really like what I'm doing on this channel, kindly hit the subscribe button and also hit the bell notifications icon so that you don't miss out on any of my uploads. So yeah guys, this is what I wanted to show you guys today. I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.